Hey, what's up, everybody? Motley GM here. It has been a long time, and I have to admit, it's been a bit more difficult to get a video done while on this traveling contract thing. Just to give you a little bit of an update, we're now in our third apartment since we've been doing this, mostly because my contract's been extended multiple times. And we've also been kind of busy having to travel a couple places, both for fun and for events. And there's really nothing bad that's been keeping me, just things that have really been time consuming. So I do apologize for my weird and crazy schedule. There are some video scripts in the works, so there are more to come. But this video today is a short video I wanted to make just to kind of tell you about this game jam that I recently joined and the experience I had with it. Now, before I get into it all, let me take the time to say I'm not paid for any of this. I'm not promoting anybody that's paying me or giving me anything. And everything on the table here, you see, I've paid for myself. And that will tie in here in just a minute. Let's get to the topic at hand. For those of you who don't know, what is a game jam? For the purpose of my tabletop RPG channel, a game jam is a usually contest where people get together and create a module or supplement for a game, whether it's agnostic, that could be for any tabletop system, or specific, usually under a time constraint with rules that go along with it. In my case, I joined what's called the Appendix N Jam, hosted on itch.io by Dank Dungeons, who is associated with Jordan's The PH is Silent, Jocular Junction on YouTube. The Discord server that the game jam was on was the Cult of the Lizard King's Discord server. Those are the guys that make the Electrum Archive. They also make a game called Durf that they are expanding at the moment that I'm speaking. So check those guys out, but they did not pay me for this. I just think the Electrum Archive is super cool. It's a zine-based tabletop RPG and setting that is just dripping with atmosphere, and I think it's really awesome. I love the pulpiness of this particular game, and I'm going to do a video on this later on where I could dive into it a little bit deeper. That to come. However, they are also associated with this game jam. That's where most of my experience was with this game, was through that Discord server. Of course, there's the itch.io site as well. The game jam itch.io site is linked below, as well as our entry that I'm going to get to here in just a minute. However, those are the people that are basically judging and running this jam, which, as I record this, the submission time is over, and now they have a little bit over a month to do all the judging. And I believe there was 332 different entries, so that is a lot to go over. The judges will all be listed on the website link below, but they include some YouTubers that are pretty famous and some writers and artists that are judging all of the entries. So thank you, judges, for allowing us to do this. It was a lot of fun. Spoiler alert, by the way. It was a lot of fun. Now, it was actually myself and a couple of my players slash GMs, both of them awesome GMs themselves, I might add, who entered this together as a team. Now, some people did it solo, some people did it as teams. I think there were more teams than just solo, but a lot of solo people and a lot of really cool work out there. But going into this, we didn't expect to win anything or to gain any awards. What we did expect is to come up with a product that we liked and we were proud of, and that we did do. When it comes to the jam itself, most of you are probably familiar with the term Appendix N, but if you're not, this is the list of books that inspired the original Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of fantasy and pulp fiction on there, in case you didn't know that already. So the idea was to write a module for a tabletop game in the vein of those types of stories. And you were given a title. That title is what you're to base the entire game on, essentially under those rules. Anyway, the title that we got was The Way to Wellerman Square. Now, for those of you that ask, because I do get asked this a little bit, the way we came up with ideas for this was basically just the three of us coming together, looking at the title, and first saying, well, what is Wellerman Square? Tossed around a few ideas, we all latched onto the one we liked the best, and everything just kind of grew from that. And this is the same way that I write a lot of adventures for my home games, is I just have a basic idea and then I just grow everything out of that very basic idea. And that's essentially what we did. In this case, we had three voices, so everybody kind of had their say, and it was those three voices that shaped and molded this into what it became. And I think it became something that we can all be very proud of. It seems like a very fun module. Now, our entry is linked below, and it is for free. So please check it out. Let us know what you think about it. Play it at your table and tell me what kind of crazy antics happened with your players. But the fact that I was able to collaborate with a couple of good friends who are awesome GMs and create a module that I could actually be proud of and can stand by was a lot of fun for me, and I believe it was for them too. So, win or lose, it doesn't really matter. We were able to put something out in the community that we're really proud of. It's free for other people to check out. We've already gotten positive feedback from people that have looked into the game. So, I'm very excited about that and very happy about that. Now, I will be honest, as my first time doing something like this, it can be a bit intimidating. Not only the sheer number of people that join, but the fact that many of those people are professionals and do some kind of game design for a living. So, not having the expectation of winning first place or anything like that is a great way to go in. But not allowing that to intimidate you and keep you from coming up with ideas is also important. And I think we did that really well. When I saw some of the entries being put in there by some of these people that are very talented, it can be like, oh, wow, look at that. That's amazing. I can't make something like that. It's easy to get into that kind of mindset, right? But I think staying calm and realizing, hey, we're going to do our thing and just let that stand for what it is really helped us just stay focused on what it is we wanted to create. And in the end, we came up with something that we really liked. One thing with all of that being the number of entries and the intimidation by how talented some of these people are, the thing that I noticed and I really enjoyed about this particular game jam, and I've heard that this is very similar in many other game jams, is that criticism was never an insult, that I saw at least. People didn't insult somebody in a critical way. If anything, people were giving very positive, constructive feedback. And that's something I really love to see. The tabletop community is so based on sharing. There really is this underlying current of shared creativity and that creativity going through multiple hands and then being shaped by everybody that touches it. And I think a game jam like this really exemplified that underlying current in the community. And I couldn't be more encouraged by that. I thought that was great to see. There's a lot of young people trying something, and instead of people being impatient and snapping or at them or insulting them, they were much more guiding towards doing better or how that could be done better, even giving tips and software ideas, all the stuff. It was happening there, and I thought that was really cool. So to the community in the Appendix N Jam, every single one of you, if you ever listen to this, you're an awesome bunch of people, great creators within that group. And if you go and listen to some of these guys, you're going to get great creative ideas by people who are very talented. But you guys are awesome. It was a great experience for myself and my team. So thank you guys out there again. I'll thank you again at the end for you guys that want to fast forward through me babbling. Kind of refreshing my vigor in the community was an unforeseen side effect that I really glad happened while I was doing this. So I just think that not only do we have this collaboration of people helping each other out, even when they're competing against each other, but we also have a lot of people putting great ideas out there for free. I already told you I posted mine down there. Ours is available for free, as are many of the entries. This is a great way for you as a player or GM to find free adventure modules, supplements with some really great ideas that you can port over into your game and not have to spend a dime. You're also helping people get their name out there, because the more people that download games and names start to get recognized, they start seeking out other things that are similar. And third-party creators really are what keeps the tabletop community alive. Joining a game jam like this is a really great way to exercise your creativity. And if you're not joining the game jam, looking at the entries is a great way to fuel that creativity. So there's two ways to look at this. Either way, you're winning and you're gaining in the end as a tabletop player or GM. The other side effect this little experience had for me, and I think for a lot of other people, is the desire to write more. I would love to write not only more for this module and expand it maybe into a campaign setting, but to do that more than once. And that's something that I might be working on down the line. I'm not saying that to advertise it because I don't really plan on doing this to make a lot of money. I'm just doing it because of how much fun I had and sharing those ideas and those creations with other people in the tabletop community not only has precedence, but it's just something I want to do. So stay tuned. If I have stuff like that to offer, I will always link it in videos where I announce it, and I will try to get a itch.io thing up so I can do that in the future, but I'll let you know how that goes as time goes on. If joining a game jam is something you're thinking about, but you're kind of afraid to pull the trigger, jump in and enjoy the ride. It's not going to be easy, and it shouldn't be. We don't grow if something's easy. But when you're done and you create something that you're really proud of and you've really enjoyed making, that gives you a feeling that can't be given to you by anything else. So I really encourage you. I have to give a very, very, very big shout out to the people that ran or are running the Appendix N Game Jam. It was a great, great experience for me so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing who wins and how these things go. More importantly, to all the other people that submitted into this Game Jam, it was awesome creating alongside of you. And although technically we're competing, I just feel that I've seen a community that is much more encouraging than anything else. And I really can't thank you enough for that. You guys are so awesome. So a huge, huge shout out to all the people that entered into the Appendix N Jam. I'm hoping to do this again next year if they run it again. So we'll see how things go. Another huge, ginormous shout out to the two people who I wrote this adventure with. This was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for bringing this to me and allowing me to be a part of it. I really did enjoy it a lot. And here's to doing other ones in the future. And finally, as I often do, a ginormous shout out to my beautiful and wonderful wife. You mean the absolute world to me, babe, and I cannot wait to see what the future brings us. This is a pretty short one here, guys, but I gotta tell you, game jams are a really fun way to challenge yourself creatively, to inspire yourself with the ideas of others, to give constructive feedback in a way that teaches and uplifts, and to find a ton of free adventure ideas to add to or start off your group's campaign. They can be even better at giving you an opportunity to interact with the larger tabletop RPG community and maybe even get into a game group or start one of your own. Just try to remember that during your journey, we all really just want to play for fun first. Thanks for watching, everybody.